Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. I hope you are doing well and that this live stream finds you in good spirits. Let's see. Okay, so we already have quite a few people here. Let me get to where I can see comments. Give me 1 second. Ross and Rachel. That is freaking hilarious. First of all, friends, right? Hello, Ross and Rachel. But Ross and Rachel are having a singing party in the chat room. Hi guys, give me just 1 second here. Okay, we are live. Looks like everybody. Can anybody tell me, give me a sound check here and see me okay? Let me know. Very good spirits. Hi Judy, good to see you. All right, Rachel's here. Very good spirits. Good. It's Friday. Like, no matter how crappy your week is, no matter what happens, like, for whatever reason, Friday is just like, I always feel good on Fridays. That's why I love working on Fridays, because I always feel really good when I work on Fridays, and Fridays just has, like, this good Venusian kind of energy to it, ruled by Venus, right? Best day to do any type of, like, magical work for, like, spells or improving relationships or about feeling good, feeling really, like, good and secure and things like that. My horn is sparkly. Good. Awesome. Okay, so today, this is a training that a lot of you have asked me for. There's been a lot of, like, not only do the mentorship program students also need this too, because they have all the strategy, they have all the, the how-to, that sort of thing, and the technical support and all that kind of stuff. But when you start actually, like, wanting to get serious about your business, one of the things that most people ask me, one of the very first things, especially for one-on-one clients, is, Christina, how do I spend my money? Or, like, I'm finally starting to get a little bit of money in my business and I want to make sure that I keep this momentum up. And so, what are the best ways that I can spend some of this profit so that I can keep this momentum up? I can keep these clients and, interested, and I can start to reach new audiences. That's one of the biggest things, is that we all know how to talk to the people on our friends list. We all know how to kind of talk to people in other groups. We kind of know how to talk to people on our Facebook pages and through YouTube and things like that. But how do we reach new people? Because, once you convert the people that you already have in your circle, how many of you have ever done MLMs? The nightmare of MLMs. Hi, Anya. Good to see you. Hi, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Okay, the reason why I bring up MLMs is simply because if you ever signed up for an MLM before, like I did, when I was a beautician, I did Mary Kay, and then I did Party Light and things like that, because I was looking for that work from home opportunity, and I already had a client base. Well, if you have ever done an MLM is multi-level marketing. That's like Mary Kay, doTERRA, Herbalife. Like, you sign up to, it's like direct sales where you sign up and sell someone else's product and you earn a commission on that. Okay, that's what an MLM is. So all of those, like Mary Kay makeup, there's the one for the lashes, there's the Color Street, which I actually love Color Street. I have Color Street on my toes right now. I swear to God, the Color Street nail polish strips will literally last a whole month on my toes. So some of them are good, some of them are not so good. But in general, like, this whole idea of selling a product, MLMs are especially great for people who don't have their own product. So a lot of MLMers are people who don't really have, like, the business training and don't really have a product, but know that they want to earn money, like, they want to work and earn some extra money, right? So the one thing, if you have done an MLM before, you're probably going to get this really quickly, is that when you run through your contacts list, I mean, it's like, how can you reach other people, right? And at that point, that's when people kind of get squirrely. No matter whether you're an MLM or whether you're selling your own products or your own services, it's like, we, especially as light workers, we like close up and we like turn into these hermit crabs that like go live in our shells because we don't want to become too salesy, right? We don't want to become too pushy. A lot of us are very highly sensitive people. We're empaths, and so all of these type of marketing and sales tactics that are really more like direct sales, like cold calls or writing up businesses and sending them a proposal, all of these like very direct ways of marketing, but you're not really developing a connection with the person first before you market to them. It's cold marketing. It's a cold audience, right? We've kind of talked about this. If you go back to actually, my one video that is titled, I believe, Facebook Ads for Heart-Centered Entrepreneurs, that video is actually going to complement this video as well, and it kind of talks more about the theory behind it and why what I'm going to share today works a lot better for people like us. And another thing too is that there are so many ways to spend money marketing. You could invest in SEO, you could hire ghostwriters, you could hire copywriters, you could do ads and all these other things, right? And there's just so many. In fact, there's a multitude of them. There's thousands of ways that you can spend your hard-earned money trying to scale your business. Scale your business is a term that I use, which basically means, okay, I have my product and or service. I know who it is I want to sell to, and now I need to scale, meaning I need to grow my audience sideways. I need a bigger pool of people to start selling to. I also have another video that I did last year, I think, that says, I think it's called Why the Size of Your List Isn't Really a Priority. And that is still absolutely true. So the size of your list when you're first starting out is really not that big of a priority because you're still kind of working through your direct contacts. You're still kind of working through getting people from Etsy if you have a shop on Etsy, or you're working on, like selling to your friends list and these connections that you've already made. So in the very beginning, the very first stages where you're still kind of figuring out what you're selling and you're just kind of like doing it kind of generalized, like you maybe don't have a signature offer, maybe you don't exactly know who you're marketing to or wanting to work with, and right now you're just trying to sell anything and everything. You don't really have a lot of clarity around your business. It's that stage where you're like just flinging spaghetti at the wall and you're just hoping something sticks and you're hoping some money comes in, but you don't know exactly how that money is coming in or why and things like that. So that's at that point. If you are at that point right now, then you definitely need some sort of signature reading, signature session, signature package. You need to start working on your ideal client avatar. You need to start working on the audience that it is that you really want to reach. You need to understand their struggles. You need to understand their pain points. You need to understand also why your service and or product is the solution to their problem, right? That's the second major hurdle when you're starting your business. Today is going to be for the people that already have a little bit of an idea about who it is they want to work with, who it is who is going to benefit the most from their products or services, and already have a product or service that is already working and is already selling, but now you just need to figure out how to sell more of it. So today is a little bit advanced, but I think that no matter what, even if you're still like in the beginning stages, it's okay, because there's no such thing as having too much information, when you're trying to learn how to run a business. And you may not be exactly where you need to be to really like start implementing the actions that I'm going to give you today and start seeing those types of results. But just know that this is where it's going. Like this is going to be that third step, when you're ready to start increasing your page likes, when you're ready to start growing your group, when you really want to start harnessing the power of newsletters and campaigns in such a way where you are growing your pool of contacts, okay? Oh, hi Kimberly, good to see you. Happy Friday. Elizabeth says, oh yes, I'm a hermit crab. I hate pushy biz tactics, but really need to market. Cold calling is not something my introverted self can do. Me neither. I really don't like cold calling personally. It's not my thing. I'm all about heart-centered business, which means forming connections heart to heart with our potential clients. And so what that means is that I want to establish a connection with you. I want to know about your energy. I want to know about what your dream is, what your vision is before I even try to sell you. Because when you know who your product or service helps, you know how it helps them, and you know the results that you can get, that whole like pushy business marketing thing, it falls out of alignment with you, because at that point, you as a service or product provider, you are becoming more and more picky about who you want to work with. So it becomes a matter of, I need to see if you are actually the right fit for what I offer. It becomes like, it's such a different way of selling that is way more attractive and way more charming and way more higher conversion, rather than just doing the whole buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit, and just spamming people. You know what I mean? The cold calling industry doesn't, it can work for our industry, the whole cold calling methods, but in our industry, it's very different because, like I said, we're highly sensitive, we're empathic, we're psychic, we read energy. There's a whole other like layer to this than cold calling, and that's why it feels icky. Number one is because we're empathic and highly sensitive, and we can actually feel those feelings on the other side. Like, and we can, with our psychic abilities, we can predict that people are going to have a negative reaction to this, and so we don't even really want to go there, right? And then the second part of selling, as in not being icky, is when you know what you do is valuable and you know the people that you can help and you know the results that you can get people, it becomes a matter of, there are some like direct selling methods I use, like I'll inbox people and tell them that I think they're a good fit for the program, or I will talk to them about signing up for a package in a free session, which I really don't do those anymore because I just don't have the time to do that anymore. But those are some of the methods and strategies that I used to use, simply because I knew that if they would say, I had vetted them so much to the point where, and I had like lovingly stalked them on their timeline and talked to them in our group and like just ask questions and fielded their answers and things like that, then I already knew that they would get good results. And so I don't feel bad about inboxing people and telling them, hey, you need to sign up for my program, because I know if they don't, they're not going to get the results that they want, right? So there's already this energy of we're on the same page, and if you really want these results, I can get them for you, And so it becomes a matter of the ball's in their court at that point. If they really want it, and if they really want the results, they'll sign up for it. If they don't want the results, they simply won't sign up for it. If they get upset with me, over doing something like that, then they're not ready to invest anyways, and they're not ready for the results, and they're really not a client that I really want to work with, And we tend to think of like working with clients as like this thing where we're all about helping them, and we're all about making sure that, we're the right fit for them and things like that. But there's this whole other side to selling, is you have to make sure that you are, they're going to be a good fit for your energy, because it becomes a point where you start earning a little bit of money, you start selling your sessions a little bit easily, maybe you have a couple struggle days here and there, but then you really start to see that your books kind of fill up and things start moving, you start getting some momentum. And after a certain point, it happens very quickly, is that it's not so much about the money anymore, because the money's coming through, but it's really about the time that you're spending with people. And if people are judgmental, if they are hesitant, if they are resistant, and all of those things from the very, very beginning, just trying to get them to purchase your services or products, imagine the disaster it's going to be when you're finally on a call with them and you know that they're not going to get results unless they do the work. But obviously they're not really committed to doing the work. You see what I mean? So there's this whole other part to selling once you get out of the whole, like, I need to make money right now to buy groceries, or I need to make money right now to buy diapers. Once you get out of that, like, vicious cycle of like needing money like right now. And that's why I love the hotlines so much. And that's why I have all those free trainings on the hotlines, and why we have like Literally, we have like probably 200 to 300 hotline people in here simply because of my the video webinars that I did with Heather, Maria, and Charlene. We did those 2 years in a row. And so we have, and those are just in our group. Like outside of our group, I would say easily we probably have like 1,000 women that we are helping, men and women, that we are helping to like get out of that whole feast or famine thing. That's why the hotlines are amazing, because you log on the hotlines and you make money and you don't have to worry about chasing clients. Literally, you just going on the hotlines is like going fishing. Like you go there, you go to your spot and you just wait for the fish to bite and you get one, right? And it's a very low commitment in terms of like finding clients. So that's why the hotlines are so amazing. Now, when you're starting to like try to build your business off the hotlines, and then you get off the hotlines too, it becomes a little bit difficult. So side tangent here, if you can stay on the hotlines as long as you can possibly tolerate it, just to start building up that like cushion of money so that you don't have to sell in desperation mode, that is going to be one of the key ways that you're going to be able to manage your energy. You're going to have better days, and people can literally like smell desperation from a mile away. So they know if you are pitching because you need rent money. I can't believe how many times I see this and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is bad, because I'll see people put like, pay what you want, or I need money really quickly, and things like that. And they'll say, I'll just do a 3-card reading for $5. And maybe they'll sell 3 or 4, but they had to work so hard for that. And so they're still like training themselves that making money is hard, when all they had to do was log on the hotlines and make, $100 in about 3 hours or so. And then when they come to sit down at their business and really look at the energy that they are bringing to their business, and they don't have to stress about grocery money, and they don't have to stress about diaper money, they don't have to stress about rent money, all of these other like things that really put a lot of stress on you. And when you're stressed, I'm just going to be honest, selling is really, really hard. Whenever I come on here and talk to you guys and I'm having a good day and I'm bringing good energy and I took some time to be presentable today, I put freaking pants on today. Actually, I'm wearing a skirt, but still, either way, I'm still like dressed and presentable and things like that. It is a method of self-care. And when you do self-care in such a way that you are bringing positive energy to your business every time that you choose to create or show up as best to your ability, you're going to find that selling really easy, because people are going to be so attracted to your positive energy. They're going to be like, I want me some of that. I want whatever it is that this person has that lets him or her show up to their business like this and have fun, because I'm not having fun right now, because I'm worried about this and I'm worried about this and I'm worried about this, right? Does that make sense with everybody? Victoria, yeah. Lovingly stalking. Yeah, that's like I do stalk people a lot, but I swear it's not creepy. I'm not a creepy stalker. Hi, Victoria. Good to see you. Oh no, Catherine can't hear. Okay, just try to refresh. Someone tell them to refresh, please. Barbara says, I love the hotlines. I know you kill it on the hotlines. When you told me how much you make on the hotlines, I was like, whoa, you do really good. Emily says, I bid on the hotlines. Yeah, that would be another real, I'm not going to talk about that today because this is more for like your own business, but for sure, I mean, like if you work on a hotline like Keen that allows you to bid, or or Bitwine, that allows you to have like ad placements, that's a good investment. And when it comes to that, I never bid more than half of what I have in my balance. And when I get through half of what I have in my balance, I'm done. And I hope to God that I make that money back. But I also don't really bid too much either. Like, I will try to get myself in the top 30 in the lowest, like, for example, on Keen, you can have different categories. Like, you can have tarot readers, you can have psychics, you can have astrologists, and things like that. I will go through and try to find, if it's set up like Keen is anyways, I will go through and try to find, like, the second to last, like, most expensive category to bid in, and then I will bid in that until I get to the top 30, and then I'll turn it off after I make like half of what I have in my balance back originally. So if I'm starting the day with $100 in my keen balance, I won't bid more than $50 for that day, if that makes sense. But yeah, bidding is a really good way, especially if you are doing like, at least like 10 to 20 hours on the hotlines every week. Then you're pretty serious about the hotlines, and so bidding is a good way to do it. Yeah, Emmy says to get on the top and get calls faster. Yeah. Judy says pants on a Friday saying isn't so. Well, I'm wearing a skirt, so. Lynn says I'll have to find another hotline to sign up for. I agree. Marissa says I'm a stalker for great ideas. Okay, so we've already spent 22 minutes talking about this. So let me pull up my notes here so we can like breeze through this. By the way, I'm so excited. I'm also in a good mood because I'm going on vacation for 6 days. At 3 p.m. today, I'm going to be off all the way up until Friday at 10 a.m. next week. And that's another part of self-care, and making sure that you are selling easily and effortlessly is making sure that you're taking time off. Even though money might be tight, you still have to take time off. You have to make sure that you have time to recover and to recoup and to get into your vortex, if you don't know what I mean by that. There's the Abraham Hicks. They have the whole book on the vortex. You can find free training on YouTube. I also talk about it in the Develop a Bewitching Brand 5-day challenge. I think it's like on day 2 or 3, where we talk about how to build the Pinterest boards where you have all of these different brand personalities, and then you build the mega super Pinterest brand board. That's also about getting into the vortex. Journaling, writing out your plans for your future courses, for your future membership sites, for your future packages, where you want to be 3, 5, 10, 20 years from now, how you're going to spend your retirement. These are all really, really important ways to self-care, but also change the energy of your business. Lucky you, vacays are good. I'm not lucky. I planned this, and I worked my ass off to get to a point where I could take 6 days off. But I still think I'm lucky in that, like, well, I'll tell you, actually, here's my luck. I'm actually wearing this today. This is the Art of the Root. This is Fame and Fortune oil. I have, there's so much stuff in here, and I also put 24 karat gold glitter in here. And then over here, I also have my altar. You can't really see it because the light's not on over there. But I have Hell Notes, I have my Abundance deck, I have my green candles, I have my, what do I have over there? Citrine, carnelian, pyrite, black tourmaline, quartz, and some other stones and things like that. I will sit at my altar every single new moon, and I will write out all the things that I want to manifest over the next 29 days, and I will check it off as I manifest things. And that's how I consider myself lucky, because I already know where it is I'm going, right? Another interesting thing too, before we get to the list of things, I had a really interesting divine download the other day in the shower, which is where I get most of my divine downloads. I actually, whenever I shower, I do 3 cleansing baths per week on my business days. I bathe more than 3 times a week. But I mean, as far as a spiritual bath practice. And if you are interested in learning more about that, Rachel actually has a training on that she did for the 12 days of Christmas. So if you would like to learn more about bath magic or shower magic, message Rachel. She'll send you her training on that she did. But one of the ways that I love to start my day is, first of all, coffee is always a good way to, coffee or tea is always a good, water, and then coffee, and then tea. That's my usual progression. I'll drink, I just fill this up. This is just a bottle I got off a vending machine. And so I have a filter in my kitchen, and I just fill this up every morning, and I bring it in here. And why I like this, I used to use the ball jars, but the ball jars are like, they're they're kind of like, they do this thing where they're made out of glass, so they sweat, so all of my papers kind of get wet. But I like the plastic because it doesn't sweat as bad. But what I like about this is it says 16.9 flowing ounces on it, so I know exactly how much water I'm drinking. Oh, you have no bathtub. That's okay. I don't really get into the bathtub that much, but I really like my shower times, my bath, the spa, whatever you want to call it. So while I'm in the shower, I will just imagine like a rainbow of energy, like clearing my chakras. I'll go through, I start at the bottom. I start with red, I go to orange, I go to yellow, I go to green, on up. And I imagine, close my eyes, especially as I'm washing my hair and washing my body, I like to do this. And what I imagine is, as I'm washing I have like one of those scrubbies, like those big poofy things. And so what I like to do is I like to imagine, as I'm washing the certain quadrants of my body, I imagine certain light, and I imagine like the loofah or whatever it's called, the scrubby thingy, and I go in circles, and I will go in clockwise circles to draw energy to me if I wanted something to manifest that day, or if I'm not having a really good day and I woke up kind of grumpy, or I have a headache, or like or my allergies are bothering me really bad, which is I'm like allergic to everything all the time. I will go the opposite way, counterclockwise, and go counterclockwise on my body and kind of release things. But yeah, that's like one of my absolute favorite things to do. I meditate in the showers and do fresh herbal washes too there. Oh yeah, so you could even use a bottle like this, make some tea, put some tea in it, and then use it to kind of put over you in the shower as well. There's so many really good products on Etsy now. I know Rachel was like working with someone. She has one of her clients is building like a body shop where they're selling like bath bombs and things like that. And so there's a whole bunch of ways that you can go about doing it. But first and foremost, none of these methods I'm going to show you today are going to work unless your energy is in check when you set these things out, right? So your energy always is number one. Okay? All right. Victoria says, I love the idea of writing the list on a new moon. I'm a list maker. For sure. For sure. I can't imagine not writing lists. Like, who would I be? Where am I going? What am I doing? What am I trying to manifest, right? Manifestation loves clarity. Money loves clarity. It loves to know where it's going. When you know where your money is going and what it's going towards and how it's coming to you, manifestation is super, super, super easy. Anyway, so my divine download that I actually had while I was in the shower, I think it was Wednesday morning. I'm getting up at like 5 o'clock in the morning now, which is like weird because I've always been a person that sleeps until like 11 a.m., 10 or 11 a.m. But now, like, I have fixed my energy and my chakras so much, especially over the last like 2 years, that when the sun come up, I'm like up. That's it. Like, my body has just, through healing, doing a lot of inner child work, healing the mother, the father wound, also seeking medical help, for my hormonal and chemical imbalances and my chronic illness, and finally like getting the spiritual therapy and the medicinal therapy, my energy has totally changed. And now it's like, it's so easy to be in my business every single day because I've spent so long doing that work. And it can feel like a lot of work in the moment, and it feels like a lot of muck to get through, a lot of mud and darkness to get through. But I promise you, if you just keep doing it and keep putting yourself in those uncomfortable positions, keep doing your shadow work and things like that, you will, when you finally really start to get somewhere with your healing, it's almost like a flip, like a switch that gets flipped. It's just like one day you just wake up and you're totally a different person. And it's weird how it happens, but a lot of my one-on-one clients, my higher end one-on-one clients, are like, they say this too. It's like one day they just decided to go for it and they never looked back. And that's kind of how it is. And, when you're first starting to, you go through these little incremental little steps like that, where it's like, it's almost kind of like a cha-cha, like you do 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and then as you start healing yourself and you start ripping off these other layers of stuff, you know, that your happiness, your healing is buried under. It's like one day you're not completely healed, but one day it's like you just feel liberated and you decide to just take a giant leap. And you're not doing these little cha-cha dances anymore, but you're like running marathons and you're doing, what is that thing where the long jump, you know, you're doing things like that. And then that's when you really start seeing a lot of momentum in your business. Yeah, Elizabeth, I use sea salt too. You know you're a witch when you have sea salt grinders in like every single room of your house. That's me. Diane says, awesome, glad you're feeling a lot better these days. Me too, thank you. It took a while to get here. Just keep swimming, yeah, Victoria. Barbara says, I'm up before the roosters crow, peaceful before the world wakes up. I really like that quietness. I appreciate that quietness of the morning now. The cosmic cha-cha, yeah. Emily says, ripping off the Band-Aid. Yep, that's what I say a lot. Just rip it off. Okay, so we're going to go in backwards order here. And actually, first of all, I'm going to start with the free ways, because I actually have a couple try to say free ways 3 times fast. I have some free ways that you can actually, that you're probably overlooking. Rachel, this is Art of the Root. I really like her stuff. She has money drawing. She has Fame and Fortune. She's got High John the Conqueror. She's got Crown of Success. She's got a lot of good ones. You can make your own too. You just got to get your own herbs, which you have tons of herbs for. Okay, so the first number one thing that you're probably overlooking is your personal timeline. Okay, so first of all, if you are not using a photo of yourself, a good, clear, head-on photo of yourself, in your profile picture, you're doing yourself a huge disservice, because like 80% of people are more willing to click on someone that looks like an actual human being rather than a picture of your cat or a picture of a really nice sunset or something like that. You know what I mean? So if you are not using a photo, a clear, good, head-on photo of you, whether it's taken with your webcam or whether it's a selfie or whether you're hiring someone, you know, to do your professional photo shoot, you need to have a photo of you in your timeline and on your business page, okay? People do not, as long as you are selling services, products is a little bit different, okay? So products, you kind of want to, yes, you want to kind of want to showcase the product, but what really sells products is lifestyle. So even better than showing a product as your profile picture is showing someone using your product, or showing or encapsulating some sort of image that shows the energy of what using or buying your products makes them feel like, okay? If you don't have a picture of you on your business page and you're selling services, you need to understand that that is key. That is like your first and foremost priority. You cannot afford to hide behind these logos and these pictures of really cute memes that you know, they seem profound but really they're not saying anything, or these really nice sunsets, or you know, like, or these spiritual type of photos with the Buddha or something like that. People don't buy from, you know, it's like this, okay? People want to buy from a person. We live in this world where everything's automated, everything's run by robots, you know? The whole personal touch, that whole bedside manner type of thing, that is like something that is actually really, really sought after right now. And if you can make your business or brand personable, and you can come across as a real life person that's approachable, then you're going to already be selling a lot easier. Another thing, we have on our Facebook timelines, we have this thing called a header photo. This header photo should be showcasing your products or your services, or your free group that is your funnel to go into your products or services. Kind of depends on how you want to do that. If you don't have a lot of people in your group, you might want to just advertise your group, say for the next like quarter or two, the next 3 to 6 months. But you can't put, stop with the whole pretty header photos. Stop with the quotes and things like that. That's not saying anything. It's not getting anybody's attention. And you're just blending in with everybody else who's doing the same exact thing that doesn't know any better. So create a header photo on your personal timeline that actually talks about how you help people, what you sell. If you don't have that, that's like your first commercial. That's your first interaction to people actually getting an idea of who you are and what you do. If you don't have that, it's going to be really hard to sell because nobody knows what you do. If I can't tell in 2 seconds, 2 to 5 seconds, who you are, what you do, how you help people, then I'm just going to click off because, quite frankly, I'm bored and it's a waste of my time to try to connect with you any further. I'm just being honest here as someone who spends a lot of money in our community and really believes in supporting other people in our industry. I spend a lot of money in this industry, and if I can't tell what it is that you're doing, I'm simply just not going to buy from you. I am not, as a high-end buyer, I am not going to spend the 5 minutes trying to figure out what you do. All right, no problem. Thank you, Emmy, for coming. Rachel says, I always say good afternoon, by the way, or something. Yeah. Okay, and then we also have this little space. So you have your photo, you have your header, and then you also have this little like description area. So in this description area, you need to take out every single thing that doesn't relate to who you want to be in the next 5 years. If it doesn't have any relevancy, if your past work experience doesn't have any relevancy at all for what you're doing now, like you don't want to put that you are a high-end coach, but you used to work at JCPenney's. Like it's amazing that I see people do this still. So you want to make sure, first of all, that you have your page linked, that you are your title, and that you work at your professional page. And then you want to also have all of the information that pertains to how it helps your business right now. So get rid of the information that is not necessary. Get rid of the whole cutesy thing. Like I'll see so many people that say, I work at home, or stay at home mom, or something like that. That's fine, but put that you're a mompreneur, or put that you work from home, or something like that. Like it has to be relevant to what you are doing right now. Otherwise, people are going to be turned off by that. Another thing too, there's a second description box right above that says, you can put like your social media links. You want to make sure all of your social media links. If you're not on YouTube, get on YouTube. If you're not on Instagram, get on Instagram. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Those are the 3 top social platforms for our industry, okay? If you have a chance, go look at mine. I put my title, which is Psychic Business Coach, and I put my niche, which is Tarot Business. I put the link to my sales page, and then I decorate it with some emojis. So the more that you can be decorative, the more that you can be creative with it and really stand out, that is going to be really good for you. And you really want to make sure that your website or your sales page is in that description. Because if I, as a buyer, as a high-end buyer, if I have to search for your website for more than a couple seconds, I'm going to click off. I don't care enough. I'm sorry. You haven't converted me yet. Convert me. Turn me into a client. You've already piqued my interest by something that you've done that I've seen. Whether you're, your Facebook business page, I saw something you did, or I saw you talking to another person in another group and I want to learn more about you. If I can't hover over your name, and if I can't find your website like really, really quickly, I'm just simply not going to put forth the effort. And that's how like 99% of clients are. So you have to really think about the user end experience of this, the customer, the client end of this, and really think, are you easy to find? Are you easy to hire? Would you even hire yourself? If you look at your timeline, we did this exercise in the mentorship program last week or the week before, I can't remember. But I asked this very simple question. Based on your personal timeline, if you were a client, a potential lead, would you hire you? And a lot of the ladies in the mentorship program were like, duh, like, a light bulb went off. They're like, oh my gosh, actually, no, I wouldn't hire me. Actually, I wouldn't even know what I do. I wouldn't even know how to book a session with me. So you need to really look at it in terms of like, what is the client seeing? And you have to assume that they know nothing about you. You have to assume that they know nothing about the internet. And are you being obvious enough, right? Another thing is you have right below that, you have a featured photo. I highly recommend utilizing that space because it's a free ad space. If you look on my personal timeline, you will see that I have a personal ad right there and a featured photo that talks about this Facebook group and how if you want to join the best Facebook group to learn how to start a spiritual business, this is it. So that is like your prime real estate right there to either get people into your group or sell, highlight a product, highlight a service. It's free ad space. Utilize it, especially on Facebook, a platform that like almost like we're going to talk about this too, that like punishes you for not buying ads on your Facebook business page. But if you look on your personal timeline, you have a little ad right there that you can utilize for free. So I highly recommend that you do that. Diane says, I just deleted my YouTube channel and canceled my IG account. Well, maybe you're at a point, where you really just need to focus on Facebook and then you'll get to those at some point. But I actually cross-post like all of my stuff. Like I just cross-post my things like on different channels. Like all of my live streams, they just get posted to YouTube. All of the social media images I create, they just get posted to Instagram. So it's like I'm not actually doing any more work, but there is a slight difference between those different platforms. Like there's an image difference, there's a hashtag difference, and things like that. So yeah, there's a little bit of a difference, but it's really not that big. How would you set it up so your website will show when they hover over it? Okay, Sheila, so on your personal timeline, you have this little box on the left-hand side right under your photo, and it says something like description. In fact, I can find it real quick and tell you exactly what it says, if it says anything. It's like right under your photo. Intro. It's called an intro. So when you have that filled out, people will see that. And also the very, very, very first thing that you should be listing under your work history is that you work at your business page. And people will automatically be able to click on that and go there. And then also you need to have your Facebook business page set up as well with its own unique header and a call to action with the action bar set up. I had social media overwhelm when being part of a very active and growing YouTube tarot community. Oh, okay. So for you, Diane, it's probably more about working smarter and not harder. So chances are you might have been doing things that were really not in alignment with getting clients, because if you know, that's part of what's in the mentorship program too. That's like what I actually teach. That's my zone of genius, is content creation that actually converts into clients. So what I find is that, new tarot readers especially are doing this thing where they're doing the tarot scopes and they're doing the daily cards and they're doing the weekly readings and, the unboxing videos and things like that. And in reality, that stuff is very low converting. It's extremely, extremely hard to get clients off that type of content. There is a different way to do content that will actually get clients, and that is not it. And that may work a little bit for some people, but think about it this way too. When you're doing those free card readings or the horoscopes or, things like that, you have to keep showing up. The way that I build content is through evergreen content, meaning when you're doing the the free readings and things like that and the horoscopes and things like that, you are building content that has a shelf life. It's not good past a certain date, right? And you have to keep showing up to be able to give people that value. That's what they come to expect. That can be super, super draining. You're not always going to have time for that. Imagine trying to upkeep that while also dealing with having one-on-one clients as well and selling readings. It's just impossible. It's just simply not possible, especially if you want to start reaching 5K, 10K months, 100K years. You just can't do it. So what I teach people how to create content once that is basically like cloning yourself, and it can go out there and sell for you forever, that has no shelf life. And really it's talking more about educational content, how to, anything that's showing someone, that's educating someone how to do something, or that's educating someone on why they need to buy your products or services, that's basically what I teach. And that is what we call evergreen content. It's just a totally different way to produce and create, and it has better, the other stuff is what I call busy work, which is like where 90% of my new clients come from. They do what everybody else is doing. They do what they think they should be doing because they see everybody else is doing that. And in business, doing what everybody else is doing basically means that you're not cutting edge enough, that you're not getting any sort of like traction, you're not getting any sort of attention, because you're just kind of blending in like wallpaper against everybody else who's competing for those lower level, we call it the low hanging fruit people, those the $25 tarot reading type of people. So that's where most people are when they come into the mentorship program. And then when they get in there and they start and they're like, oh, okay, see, I've been doing this all wrong. Yeah. And busy work, Marissa says, I was a total busy work person. Me too. I was too. And the reason why is because we don't know any better. That's the real reason why. We don't know. We're just guessing. Like, it's that whole throwing spaghetti at the wall hoping something sticks phase. And you don't know really where people are coming from. You don't know why people are buying and things like that. That's basically that stage. But there is a whole other light at the end of the tunnel, and different ways to do content, right? And then another way, so you got to do your profile picture, set up your header, set up your intro, make sure it says that you're working at your business page. And then another free way to get traffic without having to pay for ads or anything like that is to really start stepping up your hashtag game. Instagram and YouTube are really, really big on hashtags or tags. Facebook is also really big on hashtags too. Personal timeline, you want to make sure that your hashtag posts are set to public, and then your business page is like going to be favorable with your hashtags. So you want to make sure that you really spend some time. I like hashtagify me, hashtagify.me, I think it is. Just Google hashtagify, HASHTAGIFY, hashtagify. And that way, and also keyword IO, keyword KEYWORD.IO. That's going to be a really good way to find certain types of hashtags and Google words that are like relevant to what people are searching for. And you want to kind of use those words in your post, because the way it works is that Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube all have their own individual search engines, right? So when people are typing in, words that are like related to what it is that they're looking for, you really want to make sure that you understand how hashtags work and understand how tags work. Because if you do, and you can harness that and you can put those into your post consistently, you're going to bump up in relevancy and you're going to show up towards the top underneath everybody else who's paying for ads. Yeah. But you'll still be, way quicker to find than everybody else who isn't using hashtags, okay? Couple of my favorite ones are hashtag tarot, hashtag tarot readers of Instagram, hashtag psychic, hashtag life coach, those sort of things. If you go to my Instagram, which is it's instagram.com/tarotbizmentor, TAROBIZMENTOR, you can go look and you can swipe my hashtags if you want. Just go through like my past 10 posts and make a file and get those hashtags, and then you'll already be like really ahead of the game. Okay. So those are my free, those are the ways that you can do this for free, and that you don't really have to pay a lot of money, and you can start to see some momentum with it. But I'm actually going to go in reverse order. So I have my 5 things that I spend my money on for marketing that get me really, really good results. And I'm just going to be honest, I'm kind of a cheapskate with my marketing. I want to make sure that I'm spending the least amount possible and getting the highest return as possible. Now, this is not to say that if you don't have these other systems in place, like a newsletter and like an opt-in and things like that, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, if that is a foreign language to you, join the mentorship program, because that covers everything that you could ever want to know about building an email list and building opt-ins and getting your signature program in order and things like that. Like, there's just so much dedicated to that. There's like probably, I would say probably 40 hours alone dedicated to just those types of things, okay? But I'm going to go in order. I'm going to start with number 5, and I'm going to do my favorite things last. So number 5, the 5th thing that you could do to actually pay for marketing is you need to upgrade your graphic design game. You need to buy the premium version of Canva and get all those features where you can get the magic resize tool, so you don't have to spend hours making one photo for Canva or one photo for Instagram, one photo for YouTube, one photo for Facebook. You know, the thing I love most about the Canva thing is the magic resize tool, where you create one image, you hit the magic resize tool, and then you can pick what, you know, template you want to use, and then it's simple as just like copying over the whole image, dragging it, making it just a little bit bigger, or slightly tweaking some elements. But it just makes you so much faster and more efficient with creating your images, creating your header photos, creating your sales images and things like that. Like all of that kind of stuff. Get the premium version of Canva, and it also comes with a whole like selection of stock photos. Some of my favorite stock photo websites are, let's see, I like Pixabay, Pixabay.com. I like Pexels, Pexels.com. I really like, I think it's Unsplash, Unsplash.com. Really start utilizing these free, commercial-free websites that have stock photos, or start utilizing Canva. On Canva, you can actually get like really high-end $33 premium images that you find on iStock Photo for like $1 on Canva. So I get a lot of my graphics. If you like my graphics, I get a lot of them from Canva. I spend the $13 a month, and I save so much money on stock photos. I save so much money on time. And it's just such a great way to really upscale your business by really getting serious about learning how to, you know, put together templates to save you time. Like I have the Tarot Business Tips campaign that you've seen kind of start coming out. I think it started rolling out 2 weeks ago. I have that campaign literally set up until the end of 2019. 3 images per week, so you guys are going to be seeing that campaign going on for a while. I'm going to be doing a training in the mentorship program, not this Monday, but next Monday, on Instagram, and how to start building your audience for basically pennies on the dollar for Instagram, and to start getting, you know, more followers, and to start using Instagram as a way to funnel people to your business page, funnel people to your group. Okay, so Canva is definitely one of the top things I highly recommend to start. There's other ones too. There's Easel. I mean, there you don't have to do Canva, but Canva has really been out the longest, and it seems to be the most like consistent, and for me the easiest to use. Yeah. Unsplash is great, Judy says. Yeah, I really like Unsplash. Pixabay and Pexels are probably my other 2 favorites. And then if you type in on Canva, Psychic, Witch, Tarot, those 3 things, you're going to find a really good selection. Or yoga if you're into health and fitness or wellness and things like that. You're going to find a really good selection of photos on Canva for $1. $1, you know, to upscale your branding. That's just, you can't really beat it. That's in addition to the $13 a month. But some of the premium photos become free with that, and then you get these other, like, you can make folders, which helps you keep your stuff organized. Because I don't know about you, but like, I'm a Virgo moon, so I try really, really hard to be organized, but sometimes it's hard for me to stay like organized and consistent, you know? And so what I really loved about, I used the free version of Canva for a year before I even bought the $13 a month. But when I bought the $13 a month, and I could see that that you could actually create folders on there now. I was like, wow, this is amazing. I was like, this is going to save me so much time because I don't have to sit here and scroll through all of my things. And, it saves me at least probably 5 to 10 minutes per time I go into Canva, which if you are, if you are struggling to find space to book clients, or if you are trying not to work 3 hours to make, if you're trying not to work 8-hour days to make $25 to $50, that 5 to 10 minutes is definitely worth the amount of money, in my opinion. Marissa says, is the campaign with business tarot readings with majors? Yeah, right now that's what's coming out. But I'm working with Chelsea Eckert, by the way. She is my new VA. And I'm so excited. That's going to be on my list here in just a minute. You're going to hear about VAs here in just a minute. But she's my new VA, and she's been really helping me. Right now, I'm doing the majors personally. Between me and her, over the last week, in under 10 hours, between me and her, we have created almost 100 social media images. That's freaking amazing. That's like 10 social media images in 1 hour. And the way that we do that is because we have Canva. We have the premium version of Canva. And so we just make templates, and then we can just use the resize tool, and then it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. It saves us so much time. Could you imagine how your business would change if in 10 hours you could create almost 100 social media images for your platforms? That would be life-changing, right? So Canva definitely helps us with that. Having a good VA definitely helps. But having Canva and having the things that Canva provides, the features, definitely a big, big help. And also, I really like Canva's free information. I'm going to post that here in the group for you, or in the comment section. I actually have some resources for you guys too. I'm really working on my Pinterest right now, and I'm building up some boards, so those aren't quite done yet. But if you do take my develop a bewitching brand 5-day challenge, which you can get that on my Thinkific school site, or you can get that, when you first come into the group and you have the announcements section and it says start here. If you click that, then you'll go to the link of, the page of all of my different free trainings that I give you guys, just as my way of saying thank you for coming into the group and showing my gratitude for you being here. If you go through that branding challenge, and you go to Canva and you learn about the color meetings, and you look at some of the colors, and I also have a Pinterest board I just posted with color palettes I sat there, no joke, I sat there and pinned over 1,000 times color palettes that I felt were appropriate or unique or good for our industry. If you go on there, you're going to get a lot of inspiration. So when you finally spend that $13 on premium Canva, you're going to go in and you're going to be like, I want this and this and this. So you're going to make the most out of that money. Okay, so my number 2 thing that I really like to spend my marketing money on that gets me good results is ads. Okay, so we live in a world where everything is ad based. Facebook is ad based. We all know that, or well, we all should know that organic reach through Facebook pages is basically dead, unless you're using hashtags. But it's only going to get you so far. It's only going to go, it's not going to be like these long leaps of growth and things like that, going from 50 to 150 likes, maybe in the course of a month. Maybe if you don't use Facebook ads, you're probably not going to get more than a couple likes in a couple months, or, a couple. And what I mean by likes, I mean engagement, on your Facebook business posts and things like that. That's why groups are number 1 for me personally. That's why I spend so much time marketing in my groups and connecting with people in my groups, because Facebook is now beginning to favor groups. They're even, I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but Facebook is actually in beta now for paid groups, where you can join paid groups on Facebook. I believe it starts at $25 per month, and it's only there's only certain people, certain groups and things like that are allowed to do that right now. There's some that are charity groups. There's some that are networking groups and things like that. There's a whole article about it. You can go to Google, just type in paid Facebook groups rollout or something like that on Google, and you'll find the article. But Facebook is beginning to now favor groups over business pages as far as ways to connect with people, because Facebook is very much like, Facebook is really in alignment with the type of business I teach, which is connection based. Facebook really believes that's part of their mission, their philosophy, their business statement. If you go read about Facebook and what it stands for, they're very much connection based and less about the spam. That's why there is a, quote unquote punishment, which is making people pay for ads, because the way that Facebook works right now is that ads, go listen to that video where I talk about the Facebook ads for heart-centered entrepreneurs. I talk about it more in there. But basically how it is now is pages are becoming, you have to pay to boost pages, because basically there's millions of businesses that are all competing and vying for that really good real estate that is the news feed, right? And so clients have spoken, Facebook users have spoken. They do not want to be inundated by ad after ad after ad after ad. So as far as like showing up in the news feed, business pages that do not pay to play are really not going to get much traction. Whereas now, Facebook really likes this whole thing with, groups and selling in groups and things like that. And so now they're really starting to push groups up and pages down. Does that mean that you don't need a Facebook page? No, it doesn't mean that, because every single little part of Facebook, your group, your timeline, your business page, all of these are like little cogs in the whole system that keeps it working. And without all of these individual little cogs, you're not gonna see as much growth. So if you can get your personal timeline branded, you can get your business page branded, and you can get your group up and going, you're going to be hitting people in 3 different ways instead of just relying on your business page. That's why most people actually give up on their business page, and they are so resistant. It's so crazy. I'll have so many people that'll come to me for one-on-one, or they'll join the mentorship program, and they'll be like, I never want to start a group. I don't want to be a group leader. I don't want to have a community, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, I don't argue with people. You tell me you don't want it. I can sit here until I'm blue in the face and tell you why you need it. But unless you feel that pain of knowing that you need it, you're not going to do it, right? That's just reality. I've worked with people too long to sit and try to, convince you that you need to do what I'm telling you is the expert advice that you're paying for. Does that make sense, right? So I don't argue with people anymore. And instead, most of the time, I'll have people be like, they'll come back and say, my Facebook page is not really getting any traction. I don't really want to pay for ads. I want to build my, my growth for free. And then I'll be like, you need a Facebook group. And they're like, yeah, I need a Facebook group. And I'm like, yeah, you need a Facebook group. But that is like all of the different parts of it. Judy, when does the next mentorship program begin? Judy, the mentorship program we are going to be celebrating 3 years this October. You can come in at any time. It's $45 a month. MakeTerrorYourBusiness.com. And you can enroll. You can stay in as long as you want. You can enroll for, $45, stay for a month, blitz through the content, and then you could decide, that's all I really needed. I just wanted the content. Fine. Maybe it could take you a couple months. There's also people that come in that really need the one-on-one support, because in there, I can only spend so much time in this free group. I only have so much time in the day, right? And so I try to come in here and at least make sure everything's still working, make sure people are alive, and things aren't burning down and things like that. I come in the free group a couple times a week. But in the mentorship program, it's you're paying for my premium time, right? So I give around 15 hours of office time, just kind of depending if I have calls or not. So there's generous office time, office hours. There's a post that goes out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, where if you need to ask me questions and you need a direct answer and you need it within the next couple days or within, that day, if you post early enough, then I can answer you and I can go into more depth about it. We also do weekly trainings or Q&A sessions, I wouldn't say every single week, but pretty consistently, between 80% of the time, we do a new training every week. So, we did the GDPR stuff, and then we're going to be doing Instagram, and not this Monday, but next Monday. And then we're going to be doing, what are we doing? Hiring your first VA the week after that. And then there's workshops. There's so much stuff. So there's a lot of stuff in there. Yeah, sure. There you go. Hi, Krista. Good to see you. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. So promote group over pages. Ross, yes. If you get one takeaway from business page versus group, group is way more important than a business page. But you still need a business page, and you still need those working parts like your opt-in, and your call to action bar and things like that. So you still need those things, but your group is, I get more sales from my group than my business page, right? Kind of works like this usually. Someone will either find me on Instagram or YouTube. I'm just really starting to break into Instagram and really start to take it seriously, so I am seeing a really big increase, and I'm going to talk about that. I looked at my thing today, and I wanted to give it a whole 2 weeks before I even, really started looking at the analytics and things like that, but I will tell you, I was very impressed. Previously, how when you're on Instagram, and you look at your own profile, it'll say you have so many profile visits within the last 7 days or something like that. It says something like that. I was looking at it, and I've noticed that, previously to doing this current campaign that I'm doing right now, which is still really in the infancy stage. After doing this for a couple months, it's going to be a lot different. But I was only getting maybe 2 to 4 profile visits within the last, probably year or two that I've been on Instagram. This last week I had 24 alone. So that's a huge increase. 2 to 4 visits versus 24. That's a major increase. I project to be getting around 50 by the end of this next quarter per week of just profile views. People that are wanting to connect with my brand. So I'm really interested in Instagram. I'm really fascinated by Instagram right now. And you guys know that Facebook bought Instagram, right? So if you go to do your Facebook ads, then you can automatically do the thing where you want to also boost it on Instagram, and you can get 2 things at the same time, and it doesn't cost you any more. Ross says, you can drop your business page to your group and have a captive audience. Yes, absolutely. Elizabeth says, I love Instagram, been steadily growing it for 2 years or so. Yeah, Instagram is really good, especially for our industry. This whole witchy, witchcraft aesthetic is guys, we are a pop culture right now. We are a pop culture. I don't know how long this is going to last, but it just seems ever since the 90s, really, just witchcraft and witchy and spirituality is just taking off. And I was just talking to my husband about this the other day too. We were talking about it, and I think I was talking in the mentorship program group too. And I was like, you know what? For as saturated as this market kind of feels sometimes, which it's not, it actually just feels like that because we follow each other, and we, whoever you follow and whoever you interact with is obviously what you're going to see on your social media profiles. So sometimes it can feel like this market's really saturated, but it's not. We are barely even getting started with this whole thing. Now we have Starbucks releasing Crystal Ball Frappuccinos, Unicorn Frappuccinos. We have, shows like American Horror Story doing a 2nd season of Coven. They haven't done a 2nd season of any of the other ones. So what makes Coven so special? Because it's witchcraft. It's pop culture right now. Yeah, Buffy and Charmed and all those shows. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It really started with Samantha, and that was in the 60s, 70s. Maybe I might be a decade or so off. But it really started with Samantha. And then we have Buffy, and then we have, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and then we have all the Harry Potter, and we have the movie The Craft, and all of these new things that are coming out that are just our industry is we're barely scratching the surface. We're barely at the climax point yet. We have so far to go. We have so many cool things that we can do. I Dream of Jeannie, in the 60s. It really started with the liberal feminist movement. And so it's really cool to see all this kind of stuff. Yeah, 60s, Yeah, like right around like the whole color TV type of thing, which was really cool to also be part of that as well. Me too, Judy. I grew up on those shows too. Rachel says I wasn't allowed to watch growing up. Oh, I'm so sorry. I remember every single week planting my butt down in front of the TV, big bowl of popcorn, and I would sit there and watch. It would be like Sabrina was on Wednesdays, Buffy was on Thursdays, followed by Angel, and then you had Nickelodeon Nick at Night on like Fridays, and they would do replays of Bewitched and I Love Jeannie. So it was like this whole like part of my week as a 9, 10, 11, 12 year old girl was like just absorbing so much of this information. Yeah, Rachel says the Salem Witchcraft Museum in Fallout 4. I haven't seen that. I'm gonna have to check into that. There's so much stuff. Elizabeth says I'm amazed I was allowed to watch them, but I wasn't allowed to listen to the Beatles. Judy says I saw them as a first run. That's awesome. That's really cool. That is really neat. So you may be asking what Facebook ads are worth doing, because obviously not all Facebook ads are created equal. You really need to know what you're doing. You really need to understand why you're boosting a Facebook ad. And not only a Facebook ad, but YouTube ads are really good too as well. So, boosting your blog posts that have an opt-in, perfect way to pay very little for a lot of clicks and get people to sign up for your opt-in, get them in your newsletter, start nurturing them for free through your newsletter and building a connection that way, which hopefully you are also pulling your people from your newsletter into your Facebook group, and then you're having that one-on-one connection. So that span between, starting a campaign and having that one-on-one connection, if you don't do Facebook ads to at least like boost your blog posts with your opt-ins, with your signature opt-ins, then that gap is really wide. But when you choose to do a Facebook ad that boosts a blog with an opt-in, that gets them on your newsletter, that has a sequence, that brings them to your Facebook group, right? There's a whole process to it. That gap gets incredibly small, and you get to be in front of lots and lots and lots of people with that same content, just allowing it to work smarter for you. Personally, I will tend to put maybe $5 to $10 max on one boosted Facebook post. I really don't do more than I think it's $7. I think you can do I think it's $7 is what it is now. It's different now. It changes. It's like, I think it's $1 per day for 7 days. So $7 for 1 week. And what you can also do, sometimes what I will do too, is I will boost it. I'll let it run for 2 days. I'll pause it. And like on a Monday, like I won't really boost it on a Sunday or a Monday or a Tuesday. I tend to boost Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturday. Okay? So I will pause it on the days that I know that there's not a lot of engagement going on, or that, that I don't really see a lot of people, I don't foresee a lot of people clicking on it, or the people that are lounging around and maybe they click on your ad a couple times and they still don't take action and things like that. I prefer to really boost on business days, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and Saturdays especially. And so what I'll do is I'll pause it, and then I'll wait for the next good day to post it, and then I'll resume it, and it has to be, you have to go through the process again. It only takes about an hour to get approved. But another good way you can do that too, to get more out of the same ad, is have 2 to 3 different images that you use for the same ad. Just do it, run it for a couple days, pause it, upload a different photo to it, run it for another couple days, pause it, upload another photo to it, let it run for a couple more days. And so that way you are able to harness the Facebook ads a lot better in terms of getting more out of it than what you would have already gotten, if you had just paid the $7 and done for 7 days straight with the one image, right? So those are kind of my tips and tricks on how to get more attention to your Facebook ads and get more engagement on them at a lower price. And typically speaking, when I run well, this will be the second part. When I run one of my favorite ads to run is an ad to my Facebook group. Some of you have maybe seen those lately. I've been putting those out like once a month or so. I'll just let it run for the 7 days, and I'll do the pause and start type of thing with it to get a good, a little bit, a week and a half out of it, out of that same ad. And so what I'll do is I will put that up, and lately I've been getting committed people into my group that resonate with my copy, that are, interested in running a tarot business. I can get them into my group at 50 cents per person. Now, that may seem kind of high to you, but I charge $200 an hour to coach with. So 50 cents per person, even if I just put, $10 down on it, and I got 20 new people, that's 20 new people that I could potentially pitch a, $45 a month ongoing subscription to, and or potentially a $222 an hour session. So what really makes that ad successful is that I have really good copy, and you need to learn how to write copy. Copywriting is not something in the beginning that you can outsource to people. You need to learn how to write copy. Does anybody not know what copy is? Does anybody not know what copy is? Barbara, one of my favorite tricks for not liking blog posting is to simply just do your videos and then run it through a software like Dragon speaking software, where it will automatically transcribe your videos, and then you can have the bulk of it done. And then so you could potentially hire a VA, or you could sit down for like 20 minutes and just kind of edit out the stuff that doesn't really, you could stick it into Grammarly, Grammarly.com. Grammarly is like an editor. It'll tell you like what grammar you need to fix, spelling errors, and it'll say like, did you really mean to type this? And things like that. So that's one of my really quick ways to get my videos transcribed into blog posts. But if you don't have a blog post, that is okay. Blog posts are really for getting keywords and hashtags and things like that. Like, not hashtags, just regular tags and keywords and relevancy phrases. Like, putting more of that onto your website so that it bumps it up higher in the Google search engine. But if you don't really want to run a website nowadays, you don't really have to, but you still should have some sort of landing page for your opt-in. You could simply just boost your opt-in, and that would be totally okay. In the mentorship program, I teach people how to use MailChimp. I've been with MailChimp for several years now. I really like them. They're also free, up to 2,000 subscribers, I think, like that, something like that. And if you are routinely going through your subscriber list and getting rid of the people that don't engage and things like that, you can easily have 2,000, and you could easily have that free account for a really long time. But in MailChimp now, they actually have landing pages that you can create, website pages that you can just talk about your opt-in, talk about how it helps people, and that could also be enough as well. Grammarly does a much better job than MS Word on the grammar. I love Grammarly. I really like Grammarly. I use that a lot. I have the Grammarly Chrome app thingy where you have it, and you can when I'm on Facebook and I like make a mistake on Facebook, it'll like come up with like a little red squiggly line under it, and I can right click that and it'll be like, did you mean this, or things like that. So that's another really good way, another good free way to really up level and scale your business and just to appear more professional, is to use like Grammarly, the Grammarly app and things like that, where it really helps you become like, it really helps you appear to be more professional and not so amateur, with your grammar and your posts and things like that. Elizabeth says, I need to learn how to use MailChimp. I really like MailChimp. I use them a lot. MailChimp gets like beat up a lot by a lot of people, but honestly, like everything has its use. So, there are better ones out there, like Active Campaign and things, and ConvertKit and things like that, but you're also going to be paying like $50 a month for 1,000 subscribers or something like that. So MailChimp, for me personally, I haven't found the need to go to ConvertKit or ActiveCampaign quite yet. I am open to that. I think it'll obviously be in my future, but for right now, MailChimp is working just fine for me. Yeah. So we've talked about, we've talked about boosting your groups. We've talked about boosting your opt-ins. Another one is to simply just boost your Facebook business page. That's another really good one to boost. Like if you don't really know what to boost or anything to boost, make sure that your Facebook business page is branded and that you have your header with your call to action to either book or download your opt-in or join your free group or purchase your course or your membership site, whatever it is that you have, right? But just simply boosting your Facebook business page and making sure that you have really good copy there, that can also be highly effective as just getting people to like your page and to getting more people on your page. However, that is probably like the low end for me. Like boosting your opt-in is definitely number one, because then you can talk to them on your newsletter. You can get them into your group very easily. Boosting your group is another good one, because it's more of that. It's more of like you boost your group, they get into your group, they answer the 3 questions that you have to vet people, you find out if they're a good fit or not, you get them into the group, and then there, bam, you already have that really good, solid one-on-one connection with them, which equals, selling a lot easier, versus just boosting your page where, so you have all these likes on your page now, but are they really seeing your content, So I would say if you don't have anything else to boost, or you want to spend $20 a month on boosting posts, those are the 3 I would do. But opt-in and Facebook group are the 2 that I have the best luck with. Hi, Catherine. Good to see you. Barbara, Module 17, my love. Have you been through Module 17? Module 18. Excuse me. Module 18. That talks all about how to set up your opt-ins and how to set up your newsletter sequences. So Krista didn't know what copywriting is. Okay, so copywriting is like, basically your copywriting is the way that you form sentences and you take people through an experience or a feeling, or it's like your long post and your short post, that is copywriting. The long post and short post formula that's in the mentorship program, that is basically entry-level copywriting, where you're taking people through an experience and you're hitting on these certain points about, where you really struggled and how things are different for you now, and what are all the bonuses that, what's included in this offer, the fast action bonuses, the call to action. That's copywriting in a nutshell. That is very basic copywriting. If you really want to learn more about copywriting, there is a book series called Love-Based Copywriting. She has a very Russian-sounding name, so I cannot remember how to pronounce her name, but she's really good at love-based copywriting. I really enjoy her. And so if you go on Amazon and go to love-based copywriting, you can find her books. And that was like, I bought her books like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe a little bit less than that, at least 4 years ago now for the first or second book, and the third, I think there's like 6 of them in the series now. But it talks about copywriting, and it talks more about the theory of what copywriting is and stuff like that. So get those books if you can. It'll definitely change your life. Judy says, I have 2 different pages, one for my magazine and one for my personal work. Do you think combining them to one group? Yeah, you can combine them into one group, but I would still keep them separate pages. One group is absolutely fine for that. Yes. I would also, as part of the people that write for you ongoing, I would definitely also create a private group for the people that are doing like the writing, and like that contains more of the information about what you need, the resources, like, okay, this is how many words it has to be, you need to submit this many photos, your headshot has to be this way, you have to title your blog post this way, here's our branding packages, the branding package, I mean, like, here's the color palettes that we use, this is the information about the magazine that that is available. All of this is our logo that you can put on your work. All that kind of stuff, your media kit, that could be a separate group altogether. But yeah, you're not really spending very much time in. It's just holding as a container for those people that to get that information to write with you and things like that. But then you could have one, overall group, which is where you actually really spend your time, and you do it's more based on your personal work, where the magazine kind of takes more of a backseat. Does that make sense, Judy? Oh, Krista says you just called it copy, so I was like, I don't know. Okay, my number 3 thing is upgrading to some sort of social media scheduler. So Facebook now actually has the ability where you can schedule posts on your groups and your business page. Here's the thing, is that you can only schedule, I think, up to 20 something of them, and you can only schedule 6 weeks out at a time. Now, if you want to run a group and you want to have daily theme days and things like that, you need to really consider signing up for either Hootsuite or Post Planner is one of my favorites. Post Planner is actually my favorite one now. I have the $11 a month plan. It's a little bit more advanced to use, but also I use Post Planner and Hootsuite. So I use Post Planner for my groups and posting my theme days, posting my conversation starters and things like that. And then I also have Hootsuite, and Hootsuite is where I can target. It's really cool. If you've never used a social media planner before, or scheduler before, excuse me, they are life changing. I can go on there. I can go on Hootsuite, and I can target my Instagram. I can target my Facebook group, and I can target my business page, all for free. I can target 3 things at once, and I can put the post in one time, hit schedule, and it'll appear automatically on all 3 of those social medias at the same time. So you don't have to sit there and post it on Instagram, and then post it on Facebook, and then post it on your business page and your group, and then post it on Twitter and things like that. You can have multiple social media scheduled at the same time with the same post, with the same text, same hashtags. Schedule it once, and then it's done. So can you imagine, if you are sitting here and you're running a group and you're trying to post your Facebook theme days every single day and your memes and things like that, oh my gosh, you are wasting so much of your valuable time. And then also, what I really love about both Hootsuite and Post Planner is that they have this. Post Planner is called Recycle. On Hootsuite, it's called Auto Shuffle or Auto Schedule or something like that. Anyways, it's a feature where if you plug in your post one time, you can set it to where you can set the little tick mark or button, click the button to where it'll automatically just post at random times moving forward. So that's how you guys see a lot of my old trainings and things like that. They'll come up, and I don't even have to touch it. It just sells for me, because I get so many sales when I post those old trainings, those old free trainings, like our challenges, our old workshops, some of my YouTube videos, some of my past live streams, things like that. All I have to do is just click a little button, and it will just continue posting that stuff at it's actually smart enough to where it will read the analytics and see what times your group gets, your business page, your group, your Twitter, your Instagram, whatever, gets the most views or hits. And it will also decide, it has an AI on it where it'll also decide which ones were the most popular in terms of getting the most likes, and it will push those more out than, say, the other ones. So your social media scheduler is constantly thinking of ways to get your content in front of people at optimal times with optimal content, and that you don't even have to do anything. You don't even have to lift a finger. You set it up once and it's done, and it just keeps going. Can you imagine how much time that you would save in your business? Can you imagine how many sales you would get if you just had this AI program, to do this for you? So Post Planner, I have the $11 version, which gives me I think 10 social profiles, but there's also a $3 version, which is $3. You can afford $3. Come on, you can afford $3 to have, at least 3 of your social media profiles scheduled all at one time. right? And there's no limit to how many you can have. There's no limit to how many posts that you can have scheduled. Hootsuite is a lot more expensive. I think it's like $30 a month for the unlimited features. But on Hootsuite with the free version, you can have up to 30 messages scheduled and up to 3 profiles planned at the same time. So between Hootsuite, the free version of Hootsuite, and between the $3 a month version of Post Planner, you could have every single one of your social media profiles pumping out content, and you can just do whatever else that's more important than sitting in front of the computer scheduling content, right? It's amazing. It's very, very life changing. All right. Anybody have any questions about the social media schedulers? Catherine says, writing and editing for magazines, books, textbooks are all different. My mom edited and wrote textbooks as a former teacher. She also does pilot work. Copy is the technical term for writing. Blah. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so my fourth thing on the top of my list, right? Well, it's like my second top thing, right? Is getting yourself a VA. So a VA is a virtual assistant, and VAs is still limiting post views on planned posts. No, Elizabeth, no. I don't know if it ever really did that. I don't see a difference. In fact, I get more engagement from my planned posts than my regular posts. So I don't see that is a difference. Rescheduled posts? I don't think so. No, it hasn't affected me. There might be an algorithm there, but I also post in my group, which is a highly engaged group. And I also post on Instagram, and I also post on my business page using hashtags again. So, there are different elements to it. Like I said, they all need these little individual working parts to really come full circle and work for you. But no, I don't really see any penalty for that. Yeah, I don't see any penalty for that. And especially now that Facebook has its own scheduler inside of it, I think they finally realized that people want this. It's not something that is worth penalizing people for. Anyways, that's my opinion. I don't know technically I don't know, but personally I don't really see that as being an issue, if that makes sense. So a VA is a virtual assistant, and a VA is life changing too. A VA is it's really heaven, especially if you're really, really busy and you're having trouble keeping up with posting everywhere, and you're having trouble creating your content while having your one-on-one clients and things like that, and your time is very limited and you're still working 40-hour weeks. I tend to work Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I try not to work 7 days a week. But I always pop in every day at least 3 times, whether I'm working or not, just to make sure that everybody's okay. Just to make sure that, things aren't burning down, or that someone's not in crisis mode, or someone's not having an emergency or something like that. But I'll pop in a couple times a day, even on my days off, just to kind of look and make sure everything's okay. But as far as working, I usually start my day around 7, and I usually end at 6, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So I don't want to work more than that. That's already a good 30, 35, 36 hours a week that I'm spending working. Not just that's just with clients and mentorship programming and creating content and things like that. That really isn't including all of these other things that we have to do for our business, like the maintenance, the bookkeeping, the accounting, all that kind of stuff, that other stuff that's involved in that. So a VA can help you do a lot of things that can really help you maximize your time. Most VAs start around $10. Fluent English speaking VAs start around $10 an hour. And usually you're just going to pay them as a professional service. So there's three ways to hire people. You can hire someone as a contractor, you can hire someone as an employee, or you can hire someone as in you're paying them for their professional services. I will really only hire people that are advertising as a VA and are not looking for a contract and are not looking for being an employee personally, because that's where I'm at. maybe when I start getting over the $120,000 a year mark, I can really hire someone like as an employee or as a contractor. And, the whole contractor thing, why that's an issue is, for me personally, it's just a tax issue, because if you pay a contractor more than $600 a year, at least in the USA, then there's a whole thing where you have to report that to the IRS and things like that. Personally, I don't want the stress. So what I do is I hire VAs that are professional full-time VAs, and I write it off in my accounting as professional services, or marketing services. Professional services or marketing services. You can do either or. But I hire my VA to create my social media images for me. I hire them to write blog posts or to edit blog posts for me. I hire them to create landing pages, sales pages for me using my templates and things like that. You can hire a VA to do ghostwriting. You can hire a VA to do transcription work. So if you like video and you don't like writing, you can hire a VA to transcribe and edit your blog posts and things like that. You can hire your VA to also schedule your posts for you. There's an app that I use called LastPass, LASTPASS.com. And what that does is it's an encryption software where you don't have to give your actual passwords out. But what that does is it's like an API that communicates between them and the website. It's like a third party in that, and that it creates an encrypted code that is like, it uses a temporary code as a password. And so what I'll have my VA sometime do is log into my social media schedulers, and I pay my VA $10 an hour. I used to have $15 an hour VAs. It just kind of depends on what, I will go by what the market demands. Like if I can't find anybody good, or if I need multiple VAs, I'll pretty much pay between $10 and $15 an hour. That's my comfort zone. But they're more menial tasks, like scheduling, looking at my schedule, getting social media stuff posted. I've hired VAs to like submit me to other podcasts or blogs to do guest blogging or guest appearances and things like that. I've hired my VAs to do like market research and things like that. Two groups I really like. Let me get those groups for you. Hang on. There's the virtual assistants. There's the virtual assistant business community group, the virtual assistant tribe, and then the virtual assistant tribe job board. That's where I hire most of my people. And actually, my newest VA, Chelsea, she's actually started out as one of my clients that has learned business through me and how I run my business. And so now I prefer to hire out my actual clients. So it does a couple of different really positive things. Number one, it keeps money in our community. And number two, it also helps my clients who are trying to make money also, but know how to run business like I run business. And so they get the training that they need, and they sign up for the course, get the training that they need, they pay me, and then I can turn around and pay them. And it just keeps that circle of money in our community, in our e-commerce industry going. And it's really awesome too, because you develop a friendship with people and things like that. But as far as like hiring people out, like this group would be a good group to post in. The metaphysical marketplace, we have a couple of VAs in there as well. In addition, someone asked about Upwork. And Upwork can work in a pinch, but I really don't like to work through Upwork. Here's the benefits of working through Upwork. There's a plethora of people willing to work for you on there for very cheap, sometimes $4 an hour. If you get the English-speaking Filipino people, they will work for that low, what is considered low for us, but is considered, average or higher for them, just for currency's sake, you know what I mean? And also, you're helping someone in a third world country. You're helping someone. Most of these VAs that work on Upwork are single mothers, have children, stay home, trying to provide for their family, trying to earn some money. So there's, doing like social media scheduling or something like that for $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 an hour through Upwork with a Filipino woman or There's also South American women really like to work on there as well. Those are I think like Brazil and the Philippines are the ones that I see the most on there. Or Indian too, from India. There's a lot of Indian women and Indian men that will work for very cheap. I used to go through Upwork, but the thing that I did not like about Upwork is that turnover is very high, which means that in my experience, I really couldn't keep a VA for very long. Another thing too is that some of them might not actually be like really fluent in English or be able to understand like English speaking mannerisms, customs, cultural type of things. Not this isn't all of them, but it is most or some of them, which can kind of fall short when you're needing them to write things for you, blog posts or edit copy and things like that. That can be kind of difficult because you really need someone who understands our culture, our language to be able to really write good copy. Like I said, it's certainly not all of the people on Upwork, but there's a great deal of people on Upwork that are really more suited for like the menial tasks and not so much like the ghostwriting or the high-end type of stuff. There is a woman, gosh, I wish I could remember her name. If I see her, I'll let you guys know. She's in this group, and if you're listening to me, hi. She lives in India, and she is like really on the up and up with like Western world like culture and pop culture and like slang and terms and phrases that we use and things like that. And she's a professional as well. Wish I could remember her name, but I can't remember her name right now. Marissa says, I work on Upwork also. People are looking for a deal. Yeah, they're looking for a deal. People are not necessarily, you know, committed to you. They don't have that first initial connection. But, if you're in a pinch, you could definitely try Upwork. That would be a good way to find someone and just kind of ease into it. Ross, how do they track income for taxes as a service? How do you track it? You're just going to you're going to send them a 1099 miscellaneous. You're going to have to file a 1099 miscellaneous with the IRS stating how much you paid them. And you also need to supply a 1099 miscellaneous to the person. You're going to either need to supply that digitally through an encrypted software, what's that one? What is that one called? Is it Dropbox, where you can set passwords on it? That's the legal way to do it. You can't send. You're really not supposed to send filled out tax information over a non-encrypted server, but you could also send them one in the mail as well. And you're just going to need to get yourself some accounting software. I use Wave apps, Wave, WAVEAPPS.com or QuickBooks, and you're going to have to just keep track of how much money you send them, and then you're going to have to tell them, and then they, especially if they're hired as an independent contractor, that's one thing. Now, if you are hiring them as an employee, you're going to have to send them a W-4. You're going to have to keep that information on hand. You're going to have to pay 7% of their Social Security, Medicare, and their federal taxes. So there's a lot to it, which is why I don't really mess with anybody that wants to, which is why I'm not really prepared at this point in my life and in my business to hire someone as an employee or as a contractor, which is why I prefer to just straight up hire someone for their consulting services, and they take all business liability. Judy says, if you hire someone as an employee in Canada, you have to take income tax deductions and start submitting those taxes as an employer. Yep. Yep. Diane says, only need to send a 1090 if you pay more than $600 to one person. It costs you money to do that. Yep, $600 or more. If you pay an independent contractor $600 or more, yes, you have to send that out. Yep, no problem, Ross. No problem. VAs can actually go up to like $45 an hour or more. It just kind of depends on what you need. If someone is doing really upscale things like building landing pages and doing newsletter sequences and editing copy and ghostwriting and they're doing all of that, they're like the complete package. I've seen VAs go all the way up to $45 an hour. Just really depends. I would say until you're making at least 50, and until you're making, you probably won't need a VA until you're making really like ten to $20,000 a year. But if you want like a good VA, you're probably going to start around, when you're making around $60,000 a year. That's when you're going to probably need to hire someone. And most of the time, I say per hour, but most of the time VAs are going to want you to buy a package of hours, like as a retainer, kind of like how lawyers work in that way. I typically will buy 3 hours at a time, 3 to 5 hours at a time. One of my other clients, she buys about 10 hours at a time. So it kind of just depends on what your budget is. But think about all the stuff you can get done in that 10 hours that doesn't involve the busy menial tasks of your business. You know what I mean? So, VAs, that's like when you're starting to make around probably, $20,000 a year, you could probably get a VA to do a couple of things for you. And then as you start getting more, if you start going more towards the six figures a year, you're probably going to want to have at least one or two VAs and probably have at least 10 hours of VA time per month. Right now, I usually do about 5 hours per month of VA work, which is really just like creating memes and editing things and making sure my funnels are working and like just like the basic stuff that I don't really have time to do, but they are happy to have that $10-15 an hour to do, right? Does that make sense? And then my first and foremost favorite thing is, you've probably guessed it, is to join the mentorship program. Shameless plug, because we have spent 3 years building this mentorship program. It started out as a 10-module audio course. It then turned into a 10-module video course. Then it turned into 15 modules. Now it's at 21 modules. There's like 200 hours of content in there. And it walks you through, it tells you, how to come up with blog topics that people are actually going to want to read, that will actually convert them into being paying clients. How to spend your time. There's even so much before that. There's information on taxes. In September, we're going to start a 3-week tax intensive where I'm going to give you information about like federal taxes and what qualifies you as a business, and going over the Schedule A, going over itemized deductions that you can kind of use in terms of like charity work and things like that to kind of knock things down. Talking about the Schedule C, talking about how to set up your accounting, all that kind of stuff that's already in there. How to set up an LLC, that's in there as well. There's introduction to copywriting. There's copywriting templates in there for your long and short posts, like getting people to take action on your posts and download your product, or book you for a session, or buy your course or your membership program, whatever it is, whatever it is that you need at that moment. And it's really cool because you can apply that same template to basically everything. So it's really easy. I've made it like super simple to just plug and play. That's what I really love about being a business coach, is giving people those plug and play things where they don't have to think about it. They don't have to stress over it. All they have to do is listen to what I say, do what I say, go through the templates, and it's already there for you. It's as simple as just sitting down and starting to type. You know what I mean? That's one of the things I love about that as well. There is stuff on how to build an opt-in, what opt-ins are, what are some good opt-ins, how to set it up in MailChimp where your opt-in is just automatically getting delivered to people, how to set up a newsletter sequence that nurtures people on your list after they download your opt-in and helps them get into your Facebook groups, helps them get into your programs or your courses or your one-on-one sessions, whatever it is that you're selling. What else is there? There's, how to make money doing live streaming, how to set your studio up, what lights to buy, what camera to buy, what technical specs, what software that you need to do that. There's stuff on how to build your own community. There's content creation calendars. There's literally, you could do the content creation calendars and you could probably work way less, earn more money, have more consistent content, have better conversion rates than you probably think is possible right now. So if you are at that stage where burnout feels very real for you right now, this is definitely the solution to your issues around that. Because it's not that you don't know it's not that you aren't good enough. It's not that your offers won't sell. It's not that people aren't interested in what you're selling. It's that you need to learn how to create content to frame that, to put it in a beautiful package with a bow on top, and learn how to deliver that content to people, and to stop with the busy work. That's one of the big things for me, is that I don't want you to be so focused on busy work that you're missing out on making sales. You're missing out on spending time with your family. You're missing out, and you're working 8 hours a day to make $50 a day. That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to me. So you don't have to do that. It's also awesome for you all, your passive income people out there. I'm totally into passive income. I make a couple $100s off of passive income every single week. That's my grocery money that I don't even have to work for anymore, you know? And I set that up in a year. And 1 year from now, think about how you could be living if you set up your passive income products. 1 year from now, you don't even have to sell to make a couple $100 a week. You just automatically get that. It just comes in. It just rolls in. I love waking up in the morning and seeing there's $150 in my PayPal account on Monday morning over the weekend that I didn't even have to do anything for. Like, it's very surreal sometimes. It's very much like, and I don't take it for granted for one instant, because that is like my grocery money right there, you know? That's like the way that I get to buy healthy organic foods and grass-fed meat, and to, you know, get the water filtration systems, and to make sure that I'm getting the things that I need so that I am living my best life, that I am living according to what my body needs. I'm getting all of my needs met, and I can show up in my business a lot easier and better for that. I love automatic money too. It's very surreal sometimes. Sometimes I have to pinch myself, and I have to ask myself, is this really me? Is this really my life? And it is. And I will drop a small hint. Next year, I am going to be starting a new program. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to manifest quite yet, but it is going to be completely dedicated to supporting people who want to set up passive income products, and to start getting out of, you know, this is for more advanced, higher level entrepreneurs who have no problem selling their one-on-one sessions, but are starting to get tired of selling their time for money, and want to learn how to, instead of just, you know, making $200 in 1 hour, you could spend that 1 hour making a workshop, and you could sell that for thousands of dollars over the next 5 years. How awesome does that sound? So that's going to be 2019. So if you are not at that stage yet, you have 6 months until I release that new program to get yourself together, to get through the mentorship program courses, to get the help that you need, to attend our quarterly planning parties, to really start, you know, getting a real handle on your content creation, and just becoming a content creation king or queen in your industry. And that is the ticket. If you haven't seen my Profitable Psychics Guide to packages, to courses and packages, that's on YouTube. You're going to want to check that out. Download the worksheet that comes with it, because there is so much that I am stupid for not charging for that, but I get so many people into my mentorship program for that one YouTube video. I made that video, spent like an hour on it, and I've already made thousands of dollars off of that one video. You know what I mean? And I can teach you guys how to do that. And then, you know, also on top of that, I was kind of fielding out what people were really interested in. Like earlier this week or last week, you guys asked me, you know, you saw me ask you, rather, what is your big vision? Like, do you want to start a school? Do you want to start a membership program? Like, do you want to start an academy? Like, where do you want to be in 5 years, right? And so I was fielding you guys out, and there's a lot of people in here who want to run a school, and they want to run like a membership program or an academy, and they like the way that I do the mentorship program, and they like that, you know, they can basically get as many people as possible for a one set fee per month, and they want to get out of selling their time for money, and they really want to start getting into the group programs and things like that. The mentorship program, that is like the cherry on top of the mentorship program. And that is kind of like where the mentorship program ends and where my 2019 program is going to begin. So I'm very excited about that. But if you want to get a head start and you want to be ready by January 2019, I would say get in now, even if it's just to stay for a month and just get the information for a month, get through the modules, or stay for a couple months. You can do that. I am not against that whatsoever. So it's completely up to you. I've set this up where you can absolutely come in for as little or as long as you need. You can come in and you can stay $45 a month and get the coaching if that's what you need, or you can come in for a couple of months and get the courses, learn the backbone, learn the systems and the strategies, and get the technical support, and then go off on your own and create your own wildly successful and heart-centered business. And that's my greatest wish for you. That is absolutely why I wake up in the morning. It's why I do what I do. And I love it. I love every moment of it, and I wouldn't change anything for the world, really, truly. Okay, so I would love to open up this time now for any questions. Do you have any questions about anything I've talked about? Do you have any questions about the mentorship program? Do you have any questions about Facebook ads? Any questions about VAs? Any questions about how to brand your timeline, how to brand your Facebook business page? I want to open up this time now for the next 5 minutes or so and just see if anybody has any questions. So let me know if you do. Catherine says, yes, I'm done with everything. You're an inspiration, Christina. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. Susie says, I want to get more into passive income. Yes, Queen. I know that you are ready. You are actually very, very, very ready to get into that, because you already have the Badass Witch Bootcamp. We've already talked one-on-one about your membership site that's coming up. So the next logical step would be to, really fill up your passive income products and really start getting supported by that. And so you can just show up for your boot camp, and you can just show up for your membership site, and you don't have to worry about the selling every day type of thing. It takes a lot of stress out of it. Passive income is definitely like one of my greatest passions. So 2019, I am so excited for that. Rachel says, for real, grab the mentorship program. She literally teaches us how to make a membership website. Yeah. Christina is the best of what she does. Seriously, thank you. Diane says, in your mentorship program, do you have copyright for Etsy listings? We have the long post and the short post, which can apply to Etsy. Yeah. The long post and the short post templates can apply to that. There's also like a crash course on Etsy. There's a keyword list on there. Rachel is really the Etsy queen, and she's in there too. She has some trainings in there as well. And there's also like how to schedule your Etsy listings and things like that on your social media scheduler. I'm going to be honest and tell you that it isn't like an Etsy course. Etsy is just one small part of the overall course. It's one small part of it, because my goal is to get you off of Etsy and to get you selling on Facebook. But Etsy is a really good, for me personally, I used Etsy as a bridge. Like, I started on the hotlines, started building up my website on Etsy, because Etsy comes with their own market base. We were just talking about this in the mentorship program today. Etsy is definitely number one over Artfire, over Store Envy, all of these other websites. We were looking at the data actually this morning, and what we found was that Etsy has 15 million users per month on their website. And Artfire only has 255,000, I think. I can't remember how much Store Envy had, but it was nowhere near 15,000. Etsy is just really, truly amazing. And we are more than happy during office hours, Diane. We are more than happy to help you with your Etsy listings. I also show you how to create an Etsy listing. I show you like how I personally do it, how to do the short descriptions, how to do the long description, how to find relevant SEO and things like that. So there is stuff about Etsy in there, but I wouldn't say it's like, it's not a complete Etsy program, but there is stuff in there that will absolutely get you started. And then Rachel is my Etsy person, so the mentorship will get you started. And then if you really are serious about wanting like editing for your Etsy listings, and you really want someone that's really experienced to kind of look into it, then that's where Rachel will kind of step in and help you finish out that project. I do help Etsy sellers funnel customers into their groups, optimize their shops, but you got to be in the masterclass. Yeah. Um, but yeah. Okay. So, does anybody have any questions? Oh shit, 15 million. Yeah, Marlene, 15 million. And I don't understand why, I guess I don't understand why people are so resistant to setting up on Etsy, but we actually looked at the numbers today. 15 million people they have. And I tell you what, ever since they did the Etsy improvements, like, oh, I know a lot of us were like complaining about that for a little bit. They're like, oh, they're hiking the fees up to 5%, and they're doing these other things that make it a little bit like less individualized for your own shop. But I tell you what, I spend so much freaking money on Etsy. I spend so much time on Etsy. Like, I spend so much time and money on Etsy anymore, and I'm not alone. I know people are really shopping on Etsy a lot. So the only things that you can't do on Etsy are Reiki and spell work, and you can't offer some sort of guarantee. So like, you couldn't do a session that says that you're going to guarantee that they're going to get their lover back or something like that. Or you can't do like a Reiki session or something like that. But you can sell recorded Reiki sessions, like meditations. You can sell your courses on there. You can sell subscription boxes. Like, there's a lot that you can do on Etsy. So I still highly recommend Etsy as a way to kind of bridge the gap between trying to get off the hotlines and starting your own business, and then after you start getting yourself situated on Etsy, then you can start really focusing on running your business on Facebook and Instagram and things like that. So Etsy will always be number one for me personally until further notice. So whenever anybody asks me, like, what platform other than Facebook and your own website should I set up shop on, it's Etsy. It's going to be Etsy for a long time, I feel. All right, that is it. It is 3 o'clock. It's 2 minutes after 3 o'clock. I am officially on vacation until next Friday at 10 a.m. So if you want to get into the mentorship program, just let me know. It's actually automatic. You go to the website, you click the sign up now, you create your account, you put in your credit card, you will automatically get access to the course background, and then all I have to do is just add you to the private group. So whenever you're ready, you just go on, create an account, put your credit card information in, $45 a month. You can cancel at any time. All you have to do is just do that, and then you can get in, and everything you want is at your fingertips. It's all on demand. There's no drip feed content. You can go wherever you like. There's also like exclusive workshops in there. So if you like my Give the Most Epic Tarot Readings for Love and Relationships, I have one for Halloween. I have one also for chakra reading, and then I also have like other workshop. I can't even think. There's so much stuff in there. But yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you got something out of this. Let me know in the group if you would like to. Let me know what you got out of this, what was most helpful, so I can kind of get some feedback on where you guys are at, and then from that I can create more free trainings for you guys based off of like where you guys are having the most trouble. And then I will see you in the Facebook group when I get back next Friday. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.